In 1969, a group of astronauts changed the world. They walked on the moon.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
In 1972, our journey ended. We've never been back. 2010 begins a year of change. Private companies are working on next-generation spaceships. Governments are looking to go back to the moon and on to Mars. It's time to look up and dream again. It's time to push humans into the cosmos. It's time to educate and engage the planet. It's time for Spacevidcast.
Welcome to Spacevidcast 336 for Friday, November 12th, 2010. My name is Benjamin Higginbotham. With me, as usual, is the beautiful, lovely, wonderful, and talented Carrie Ann Higginbotham. Will be your hosts for this evening. And much like Space Shuttle Discovery, we've had a few pad aborts tonight.
We have.
They didn't really pad abort, but
not
you know,
that you know that because you're probably
not
watching us
live.
on demand.
Exactly. So you should watch us live. It's way more fun. And a quick reminder to everyone: because daylight savings time is no longer in effect, if you changed your clocks back, that means that this show is 1 hour earlier. And the chat
Unless
room,
you're watching us live, and then it's 18 hours later.
Chat room would be laughing at that. But seriously, 1 hour earlier, exactly. Snickers. I was watching the Open, and I was smiling inwardly because that's the first time, I think, ever, since we've ever done the show, that the Open played at full frame rate. And there was no weird stuttering when and that's because of Perforce Software, who has sponsored Spacevidcast and purchased the full HD setup that allows us to switch 3 cameras uncompressed and broadcast in HD and to mobile devices like an iPad, iPod Touch, iPhone, Android 2.2, and Roku boxes. And so thank you very much, Perforce. And if you're a software developer, head on over to perforce.com. You'll see one of the banners down here that gives you URL information. They actually have two licenses that you can just have. Mm-hmm. It's not a trial. You can just have it. So thank you very much. And speaking of Roku, we're going to be giving away this Roku box for all of you very patient live viewers out there. I feel like I should just give one to everyone who's watching live at this point.
Wow. And
I'm not going to, but I feel like I should.
I would, and yet I cannot, so I won't.
Okay, we'll take one. So this is a Roku HD box, courtesy Roku. We'll be giving one of these away once per week live on the show. And the idea being that you plug this into your high-definition television, you plug internet into your high-definition television, and you can watch internet TV using this neat little box. And we've actually got our own Spacevidcast channel, and thanks to Pete, which has well over 30,000 installs. So this little box is truly helping make space commonplace and get Spacevidcast in front of everyone. They've got it at the Space Emporium, the
Space Travelers
Emporium.
In
and
San
they've got
Diego.
it up in San Diego. They got it up on the big HD TV, and that's the idea: is grab one of these before the launch, put it on your HD TV, bring your friends over, watch the launch in glorious HD right there on your television, and interact, right? Because our shows are not just, hey, here's a shuttle launch. We're two-way interactive. Let's have some fun. Mm-hmm. And so you can participate in the show. You have your laptop in the chat room. It's going to be really cool.
This is. I have always likened space shuttle launches to the Super Bowl. Because for Space Geeks, that's really what it is. So
exactly.
Make some chili, pop some popcorn, and
win one of these so you can watch it on your HD TV.
Awesome.
And, actually, if you've got any developers out there, I'd love to get on Google TV as well as on Boxy. That would be kind of cool. Get it in all those little devices. So PlayStation 3 would be great if we could find a way to do that live. Mm-hmm. All of the little consoles. I'd love to be on every single one of those. So no matter what device you have, you can watch it, boom, right there in your HD TV, courtesy Perforce Software. Thank you guys very much for that. It's helped us a tremendous amount. And no, not a Commodore 64. All right, our first story, STS-133. We were down there. We were ready to broadcast in high definition. And what happened?
Nothing.
Nothing happened. Literally, we would drive an hour each direction to get down to the press site. We'd show up and they'd be like, no, it's off for the day. Can't go today. There's a leak. We're like, Space Shuttle Discovery sprung a couple leaks, and then in the end, there was a gup leak as well as a crack in the external tank's foam where ice had formed, and it's actually near the underbelly of the orbiter. Look at this, I've got props.
Well,
so
then,
actually,
we know how we love props.
Yep, it's actually, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. There you go. It's like, I can't do it. I'm going to break the Lego model. So yeah, it's on the underbelly. It's near the underbelly of the orbiter, and you don't want that foam flying off at a few hundred miles an hour and striking the backside of the orbiter. That would be bad. So they need to fix that. Now, normally for something like that, they'd roll the shuttle back into the vehicle assembly building, repair it there under controlled conditions, and then roll it back out to the launch pad. But we are trying to make a December 30th launch window. We've got a no earlier than November 30th launch window. I've been doing that all night. November 30th launch window. We've got a no earlier than November 30th launch date, and that window closes on December 5th or 6th. Can someone in the chat room confirm that? We were arguing that. When does that window close, on the 5th or the 6th?
I say the 5th.
So we're going to call that about a business week long or so, right? Yeah, I believe it's a beta angle again. At least that's what I read. And meaning that if they try to dock with the International Space Station, the orbiter would be pointed in such a way to the sun that it would overheat, essentially. December 5th, thank you. All right. So you were right. I was wrong. 2 points to you. C is greater than B, right there. C is greater than B. So we're not going to see, and they've got a lot to do, is my point, right? They've got to fix stuff out of the pad that they normally roll back, and they've got to do that in 18 days. That's not a lot of time to do this.
Scary.
So I'm not 100% convinced we're going to see that. I think we're going to see that launch window come and go, and that this whole launch will be pushed back. If they miss this launch window, we're looking at a 2011 launch date for Space Shuttle Discovery. It is the final launch of Space Shuttle Discovery, but if we do make this November launch, early December launch date, it's going to be epically awesome because it's a night launch again. And now it's going to be the third final night launch, I realize.
The final
night launch. But so I'm just not even going to call it final launch.
What of the final five?
Exactly. But space shuttle launches at night are awesome. It's like a miniature sun rising that just makes the whole sky light up. And you cannot capture it on camera because the iris has to go down to compensate for the flames, and it just doesn't look nearly as cool. You must experience this in person. So if you can, find a way to make it down to Florida to watch the final flight of Space Shuttle Discovery, be it November, whenever it launches, find a way to make it down there. You don't even have to buy tickets on the causeway or anything like that. Just go to Space View Park in Titusville.
Yeah.
It's about 7 miles out or so, somewhere around in there, which is about as close as you're going to be able to get.
It's right off of the water.
And it's close enough where you're going to be like, wow, that's amazing.
Can you imagine? And the reflection off the water and stuff? Mm-hmm. Oh, that would be so cool.
It's not expensive to stay down there. You can find hotel rooms for like $30 to $50 a night. Mm-hmm. And get flex tickets so that you can change your flights if you need to, or as Carrie Ann said, fly only one way down, and then just get your return flight when it does launch, because who knows, there could be another leak, there could be weather, whatever. But yes, if you can, make it to a launch. And if you make it to the launch, hit us up on Twitter. We'd love to meet up with you.
Yeah.
It's fun. Launches are social events. Make a social party out of it. So, all right, there's STS-133. Speaking of launches, the 350th Delta launch, the Delta II, the one and only Delta II launch from Vandenberg Air Force Base. And we have video. Bam!
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we have liftoff. Liftoff of a Delta II rocket carrying Cosmos Skymed 4 for the Italian Space Agency and the Ministry of Defense. This marks the 350th launch of the Delta rocket in its illustrious 50-year program history. We will now hear flight commentary from Steve Agate.
So like I said, that was the 350th launch of Delta, and this is the one and only launch of the Delta II this year from Vandenberg Air Force Base in California. There are no more commercial launches scheduled for the Delta II at all, ever. This is it. There are only 3 more launches for the Delta II scheduled in 2011, and those are all purchased by NASA. After those 3 launches have flown, the future of the Delta II is a little bit unknown. We're not sure what's going to happen to it at that point.
It might go the way of the shuttle.
It just leaks. So, yeah, that was carrying Cosmos Skymed 4, which is an Italian satellite for taking pictures of the Earth and making humanity join together in singing awesome Kumbaya songs.
I don't think quartets sing Kumbaya.
exactly.
If they do, they sing it in 4-part harmony.
So yeah, future of the Delta II, a little bit unknown. And my fun story for that is we were in Florida when the Delta II launched. And, yeah, I'm going to tell the story again. We're in Florida when the Delta II launched, and we had just gotten back to our hotel room, which is in Orlando, not in Titusville. So we had driven an hour to get back to our hotel room. I run up to the room, and then it's like T-minus 60 seconds in the live stream. I'm like, oh my gosh, with the delay of Windows Media, because it was a Windows Media stream, I bet it's launching right now. So
Ben's like, we have to run outside now!
Race outside. We look right towards the Cape, and we're like,
Now keep in mind, we had been in the sun all day long, okay? We had heard of possible scrubs, at least we had, scrubbed for that day, so we've been drinking a little bit to console ourselves. So we weren't exactly at the top of our game at the time. We run outside, we're hanging off balconies, we're running all over the place.
Where is it?
Look,
I don't understand.
What's going on? Is that it? That's a plane. What is it? Oh,
That's a
this
star,
sucks.
actually.
We must have missed it. This sucks. Go back inside.
I hear the
blah,
announcer
blah,
say
blah, blah, blah.
Vandenberg Air Force Base, and I go, oh, California.
And I
Wrong
said-
side of the country.
Yes, we were looking east.
It's a Blair moment.
Should have. It
Yeah.
was kind of a Blair moment, actually. Yes, I
Point
felt.
is, the Rocket Geeks get it wrong too from time to time.
Goodness.
All right, moving on. We've broken new ground in Mojave.
Whew, good thing too, right?
Absolutely. This is where Spaceship 2, White Knight 2, what's it called? Virgin Galactic.
There you
is gonna
go. Is that what
fly.
you're trying?
That's what I was looking for. That thing. There you go. Broken new ground on. Look at that. Spaceship Landing Road.
Don't you love it?
Isn't that awesome?
That is very cool. It's the Spaceship Company, which is why it says TSC right there, broke ground today for its new final assembly, integration, and test hangar at the Mojave Air and Spaceport, which I think is very, very cool. And
Oh, is it way? It's Spaceship Landing Way, not road. Sorry.
Oh, Spaceship Landing Way. Anyhow, for the customer of Virgin Galactic, for the fleet of Spaceship 2s and White Knight 2s. I think that's very cool.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. We're going to watch that because I want to go on Virgin Galactic flights.
And TSC is the new aerospace company founded by Richard Branson.
It's like the spaceship company or the space company. What's that?
Yeah, the Spaceship Company.
Yeah, there you go.
TSC.
There's a giant
TLA.
Lego. There's a giant Lego on our desk. What's that for?
What I hadn't noticed.
You hadn't noticed the giant Lego space shuttle? Hang on. It's required
You're
to go.
gonna break it. You're gonna break it.
I think it rolled a little too soon off the pad. I think I just burned the pad.
I think
we'll just call it Aries from now on. Little space humor for you space geeks out there. All right. So what's the deal with the Lego?
Lego as a company and NASA have banded together. Finally, they've come together as one. I'm sorry. Anyhow, so they've come together. So what's going on is that they are doing some teaching exercises for kids and I guess for astronauts to a certain extent. And I lost my co-host. There we are. They're doing lesson plans for students that will coincide. There you go.
He looks so uninterested. Yep, it's a Lego.
You're so mean.
No, I mean, come on.
You're so mean.
Come on. They're like, yep, there it is.
It's cool.
It is cool.
And its little shuttle bay opens as well. There you go.
There, that's
better?
way cooler,
Is
right?
that better?
Exactly, yes. I enjoy that much
gracious. All right, so Lego and NASA are working on lesson plans for students that will coincide with the work that astronauts will perform in space. So there's actually a couple of these guys that are on the shuttle that may or may not launch in December. And then, so a little bit later on, the astronauts will be putting some things together, and then kids can put some of the same things together.
But they're putting it together in space.
Yeah, they're putting it together in space, which I think is super, on the ISS. So there'll be certain times that they'll be live, and then, of course, it'll be recorded and then aired endlessly till the end of time, because that's
on
kind
NASA
of how
TV.
NASA TV sort of works. But it's a huge, these two huge companies are coming together, which I think is really great because Lego has put out a couple of things like this. Like you said earlier, this is a limited edition.
Yeah, they actually flew one of these on the space shuttle as well. I think this went up on 132.
Right.
Yeah,
So
this exact model, well, not this exact model, but this kit went up on 132, and this is a limited edition. So if you don't have one, go get one. It's $100. And look how the solid rocket boosters separate, the ET separates, the cargo bay doors open. Look at that. And there's a little satellite inside. There's even a little fire. If you look on the engines, check this out. Little fire on the solid rocket boosters, which is a little concerning because the SSMEs have lit, but there's nothing really. I suppose we've just blown the. I'm being too creative. Anyhow,
yes, you are. And there's more kits that are going up on Endeavour as well. So there's a couple of these on Discovery, and then there's a couple more that are going up on Endeavour when Endeavour should
just
happen.
Bug hit me in the face. So what's going to be funny is like a month from now they're going to be leaning against a wall and be like, "Ow! Oh, there's a Lego in the wall. What? How did that happen?"
That actually could be quite terrible on the ISS. Now that I think about it, because it's bad enough when you already step on them. On the floor, in the rug, et cetera, et cetera. But the other cool thing that I thought that in conjunction with this, if you go to it's legospace.com, which is a very kind of cool. Right now there isn't anything there. It's pretty much just telling you that in 2 months there will be something there. So there's
Is that the one with the countdown? It's like, yeah.
Yes, 2 months, and there's like a cute little Lego astronaut kind of floats around. But in conjunction with that, Lego has different lines. So they've got like the Star Wars line and the Harry Potter line and all those different lines. And they have a city line of stuff with stuff that kids should be able to see in their regular life, and they're adding a bunch of space stuff.
Cool.
So I thought that was a lot of fun and very interesting, and space geeks like engineers. And
speaking of interesting, the mystery missile that launched that I completely somehow I don't know how.
I don't know how you
apparently
missed this.
When mainstream media picks up on space stuff, it just goes right over my head. But the little itty bitty stupid stuff that mainstream media never picks up on, I'm like, oh my god, did you see the? So yeah, the mystery missile that launched and left the really cool looking jaggedy. The pictures were all like this big, so I didn't put it in the show because it just
wasn't worth it.
It was not worth it. It looked terrible. But yeah, so what's the deal with that?
Well,
Okay. I clearly know nothing about it.
I still haven't gotten a confirmation. Does anybody in the room know for sure what exactly this was? Because I keep hearing, everyone's like, oh, no, it was a plane. 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 And then you have other people like, I have seen everything in the universe that has ever launched, and that was not a plane. So I don't think we have confirmation yet on exactly what it is. But the military and Navy, all of them have said, we didn't do anything. So
It does look a lot like when you get one of those launches and then you see the vapor trail from some of that stuff.
It does look a little bit
like that.
But it definitely came from, you could see it in LA. So it definitely came from the U.S. area.
Oh, it was Quantum G says it was an airplane contrail. They identified the plane number, and it happened again 24 hours later.
Thank you, Quantum.
So there you go. No missile, no mystery. It was an airplane, and airplanes don't qualify for space. So moving on. Oh my goodness. Do we want to do that story next, or should we hold that for the very end?
We maybe should just hold that on.
All right, let's go back to that, and let's go to the life on Mars may have come from Earth.
So life on Mars may have come from Earth.
Great, moving on. I'm just kidding.
Wow. As you've heard a couple of theories say that it's possible that life on Earth didn't originate here. That it
came from the solar system, and then it kind of got mucked in with the goo, and that's how life was formed.
Right. The same concept is that some stuff might have spouted out from us and managed to land on Mars. And so the interesting thing is that they're looking for life on Mars, and one of the scientists said, it would be sort of a miss for us to look for life on Mars, and if we see anything that looks like DNA, to just completely pass right over it because it looks too familiar. That we're looking for something that looks completely foreign, but maybe we should be looking for something that looks more similar.
Because if life on Earth started from the universe, there's a chance that life on Mars would have started from the universe, and there may be a similar foundation. Is that the idea?
Correct. So not that there are Martians living on Mars and that they are humanoids in any way, shape, or form. That is not what we're saying.
They're not on Mars. They're in Mars.
Okay.
They live in underground tunnels, obviously. They live in underground tunnels. And that's where all the Martians, and then they've got their lasers pointed back at Earth.
Well, the other thing to note is that,
that they use for mind control.
We've only gone so far on Mars, about this far.
And then got stuck.
And Mars is about this big. So, yeah, I mean, we are looking at a very, very small percentage of a very, very large area for something very, very specific.
There's also a possibility that we are seeding life on Mars with the landers that we're landing, because
Right.
back in the day we deemed Mars to be a dead planet, so we stopped following the very strict, everything has to be totally quarantined and
Right.
and irradiated and just nothing there. So it still is done. These rovers and landers are still done in clean rooms, but there's million of bacteria that's still on these things
Correct.
when they land in the crevices, and certainly if they get hit with sunlight, they would die. But anything that's in the shade could still be alive and just sitting dormant there.
Theoretically,
so
yes.
Theoretically, we may have put life on Mars ourselves.
But again, it may not have come from here anyhow, so, it's like repopulating.
James Webb Space Telescope, because Hubble gotcha! Just want to say that, because Hubble's up there doing his thing. JWST, starting to cost a good pretty penny, that telescope is, isn't it?
JWST is down here doing its thing.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to launch. I don't want to go. Just give me more money.
So James,
Over budget, by the way, I believe at this point is an understatement. I think it's over budget by the amount the entire program is supposed to be.
something like that. It's like 1.5 billion
With a
billion dollars. Oh, good Lord! It's taking a while, and we may not see it even go up until 2015.
Zigger brings up a good point. It's over some country's national budget. We're looking at 2015 at this point. They need to find an extra $250,000 per year from now, like in 2011 and 2012. So $500,000 out of no funds. Like there's nothing
from Magic Land.
Just here's $250,000. Poof! Right. So. Yeah, that's what they need to do. Although JWST is supposed to be Hubble's replacement. I'm going to do that in half air quotes apparently because I got a shuttle in my head. Because it does see a different spectrum than Hubble. It's not an exact one-to-one replacement for Hubble. That's not really a fair way of looking at it. But it is supposed to be 100 times more powerful than Hubble.
It's like replacing your monocle with glasses.
Really? Okay, I didn't.
Sorry.
Okay. So that's, and here's the other thing worth noting. The two telescopes may be able to run concurrently for a while.
Right.
But I believe there are no servicing missions for Hubble left. So this is supposed to eventually kind of take over its role and do whatever it's going to do. All right, let's finish this show out. You ready for this?
Are you ready for this?
Are you ready for this? If you are children, stop watching now. I'm just going to put that out there right now.
If you are children?
If you are children, you are not old enough to see this. Pomerantz, you may want to cover your eyes. Airbus is building a space shuttle for honeymooners. Let's take a peek at the images. So here you go. Go ahead and talk about it.
I can't. Okay, so it's an extra large shuttle with
Oh yeah, it says horny moon on it. That's what it says. It says horny moon. That's actually what it said.
So the extra large space shuttle takes off and then releases these. It's for honeymooners, right?
It releases the honeymoon capsule.
We're releasing the honeymoon suites.
Oh, there's
into
a better,
orbit. There you go.
Yep,
Is the horny moon. Well, don't you know when people ask you?
There are the capsules getting released.
Yes,
Yep.
where you're going for your honeymoon. Don't you definitely want to say you're going to the horny
Then
moon?
the capsules open up like so.
Each comes equipped with giant windows for Earth views, right over a soft, round bed.
That has straps in it, so you can do that.
God, that's hot.
Wait, hang on. There's one more. Yes. Yes. That's it right there.
Now, have you ever noticed that there's only
Oh, we're just looping now, Kathy. Come back to us.
one woman in each room? I don't think she comes with the broom though.
Yep.
Just so you're aware of that.
Extra large shuttle takes off, releases the honeymoon suites into orbit. Each comes equipped with giant windows with Earth views, right over a soft round bed, which you probably won't need since you're in 0G. Did they actually spell that out, or did you spell that out?
No, I didn't spell it. They did.
When your honeymoon is over, you're going to splash back down all Apollo style. So there you are.
If that isn't scary, that's got to be Wow. That's going to be the scariest end to any honeymoon ever.
And the scariest end to any Spacevidcast show ever. All right, we need to pick a winner for the Roku box. Here's the, so our original thing isn't going to work because I forgot to actually mention it on air. So we're going to randomly pick a winner from the chat room.
All right.
How do you want to do that? You want to just give me a number and then I will just count up that many people to see who wins? Yeah. So here's how this works. In order to win the Roku box, you do have to watch live because you have to be a Spacevidcast live viewer. This is an awesome little box. These boxes start right around $50 to $60 right now on Amazon.com. They go up to about $100 for the big, huge box. They're really awesome. We do have our own channel, so if you've got a Roku, just go to the channel store, subscribe to Spacevidcast. It's completely free. You can see live feeds from this show, from NASA TV in high definition, in true actual 1280 by 720, assuming your bandwidth supports it. You also have a live shot of the International Space Station, so live streaming from the ISS, as well as a live shot from the new rover being built by JPL, which is called...
And a screensaver.
Oh yeah, and a screensaver. Little Spacevidcast logos. Boom. Boom. So here's your chance to win a Roku box. Give me a number between 1 and 10.
7.
I knew you were going to say 7.
No, you didn't. Because that's your favorite number, not mine.
4, 5, 6.
Are you serious?
Yep. I didn't cheat.
He didn't cheat.
I did not cheat.
Wow. I don't think we should announce that on air.
William Pomerantz, congratulations. You have won your very own. I did not cheat.
He didn't.
I did not cheat. You have
Swear
won
to
your
God,
very
he
own
didn't.
Roku box. So there
Yeah,
you are.
seriously?
Seriously, you have won. Oh, that's my address. I shouldn't put that up. So there you are, your very own Roku box. And we will be giving one of these away until the launch of Space Shuttle Discovery on its final mission, STS-133.
But we're only giving them away live, so you have
Only
to
live.
join us.
And once again, I'd like to thank Per4 Software for sponsoring Spacevidcast for our two or three remaining shuttle flights, assuming 135 gets funded, as well as helping us out because now we stream NASA TV in true HD as well to mobile devices 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which is really, well, mostly that because we do interrupt for our own shows, which is pretty awesome. I do want to thank everyone at the Space Travelers Emporium, if you were watching us live, for sticking with us this long because I have no idea what time. Oh no, it's actually a couple hours back, so whatever. But thank you guys for watching, and what a great idea that is. Once again, grab one of these boxes, get a community together, and every Friday at 2 a.m. Coordinated Universal Time, get everyone around the TV, interact with us, talk live about human space flight, get the community together, right? Because watching space alone is just creepy. All right, on that note, thank you guys very much for watching. We'll see you next week here at Spacevidcast. Classified.
It's time to look up. In 1969, astronauts changed. On the moon. In 1970, our journey. We've never